All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's a little bit after 4:30. It's 4:34, I believe. So I'm Donna Forand, and I'm from the Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors. And at this point, I would like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We have Mary DeRoss, Claudia Miller, Elaine Raymond, Helen Maroney, and myself, Donna Forand. Today, this meeting is being broadcast by Area 58, and the location of this meeting is at Town Hall in Room 1. It's meeting is set for 4:30, but I would like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the next item on the agenda is meeting comments from me, myself. So I just wanted to thank my board that is here today for your hard work on behalf of all the seniors in the town. And I want to apologize to this board for the disruption of the 9/29 meeting. At this time, to carry on the business of this board meeting tonight, we will suspend the public comments to continue the work of this board, and we will reinstate them at a different time. Thank you. So the first item on the agenda is board member comment, and this is about the cake. So personally, I was sent an email from a board member. It actually was from Paula Hitchcock, and I'm going to read the email to you. Previously to this email, she was answering my request. So I had put an email out, and my email said, "Good afternoon. Does anyone have any agenda requests? I am thinking food policy, suggestion box, coffee with the board members, discussion on monthly cake, possible vote, director's report, Carver night out, and anything else." This was sent on August 19th to the entire board at 3:19 p.m. At 4:04 on August 19th, I received an email from Paula Hitchcock, the alternate. It reads, "Agenda request. I'm thinking that the monthly cake should probably be discussed between June, Connie, and us, and not waste this board's time." So therefore, the cake request was not placed on the agenda at that time. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a Board of Health email. So this was an email that was sent, well, it was sent on to this board, but I just want to read this. This is a public hearing notice that was done on July 30th, 2021 at 8 a.m. in the Carver Town Hall by the Carver Board of Health to review and consider a proposed policy from the Council on Aging regarding outside food allowed to be brought into the Nutrition Center. They were sent the attachment of our current food policy.
Which one is this now? Old Colony.
Well, no. So anyway, also for clarification, the attachment was sent. And I just want to let everybody know that the Board of Health, I just want to say this correctly, did receive our policy, and they did review it, and they did take a vote, and they did support the current food policy.
Point of order. I spoke with the Board of Health in Boston, yes, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, and I asked about whether or not you can restrict meals coming into a public building.
Can you just say your name, please? And
Mary Dormer.
And your street address? When you speak in public, that's what you're supposed to say.
Well, you can ask for it. My name is Mary Dormer. Again, I have spoken to them, and they said the only thing that you can restrict is whether or not you can bring nuts into a place, if it's a public meeting. So everybody can bring in whatever they want. You can call them and check for yourself.
Thank
So
you.
what you're doing here is wrong.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. They will be sending you a letter.
Will you call a point of order?
Point of order.
Point of order, I have.
Thank you, but could you,
There was something that was sent from the Carver Board of Health. They do not have any regulations or policies related to the.
excuse me, but you're out of order, and I have the emails right in front of me, and these are the emails that I
Okay,
have.
here's mine dated October.
You
Point
can
of
leave
order.
it right over
We
there.
follow
Thank you very
Robert's
much.
rules. If we call for a point of order, you have to let us speak. Thank you.
She does.
And I have the letter right here from Kevin.
Point of order.
Okay.
Is it valid?
Table.
Yeah, but not when it becomes abusive and they're just going to keep doing point of order. I
Okay.
think we should.
Here's the letter right there.
Thank
We will
you.
continue.
No, I think it's happening because she's talking about stuff that they.
Is that the point of order?
So this is what I'm saying.
This is going to get out of hand, and so the point of order is supposed to be used for new information, and Nancy's provided the new information. We'll take a look at it. I actually have that email, but I just want to let everybody know that the emails I have are from the Board of Health, and they did hold a Board of Health meeting, and they did support the food policy that we currently have, and I have the email from Kevin Forge, if anybody would like to get a copy of the meeting that was held. I have that information. So thank you very much, and we'll move on from there. We'll just be discussing the food policy later on in this meeting today. So the next item on the agenda is a letter, and it's dated July 21st. Dear Carver residents, I am the dietitian for Old Colony Elder Services. As of March, Old Colony Elder Services and your Council on Aging began an exciting new partnership. We hope that it will be extremely beneficial for your program, but do not have to tweak so many of the policies in order to keep everyone safe. While we are excited that people love to share, we unfortunately cannot accept donations of candy for distribution, so that word is important, distribution, in the nutrition center, as it contradicts the nutrition guidelines that are part of our program. We appreciate donations of food as well, but due to food safety guidelines, we cannot accept any perishable food items to be used in our food service, with the exception of the fresh fruit and vegetables. If you have questions or concerns, please contact me. Thank you for your cooperation. Amanda Heitzelman, she's a registered dietitian and a licensed dietitian, and she's the nutrition program supervisor. So I just wanted to share that and get that into the public record.
What's her last name?
Heitzelman, and it's spelled Heintzellman.
N-A-M?
Man, yep, M-A-N. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. And everybody has been given a copy of the minutes in front of you. And okay. It should look like this package here with the yellow on the front.
What's the date?
This secretary's report is for August 26th.
8/26.
Yeah. Do you have that? Actually.
Which one?
Hold on. Let's see right here. 25th, wasn't it? Hold on.
I'm just trying.
Yeah, can you pass those What, you have 2 copies then? All right, hold on. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. Ah, yeah.
Okay, I made a
Madam Chair,
mistake.
point of order. The policy that you just read, you could just go back to where you said the distribute part. Could you just read that again? Where you kind of said it, we need to have special attention to that?
Right, hold on one second. Oh, while we are excited that people love to share, we unfortunately cannot accept donations of candy for distribution in the nutrition center.
Okay, that's all I needed clarification on. So that means that I can't give you candy for you guys to distribute.
I can't discuss it right now because it's actually on the agenda down below, and we're going to actually discuss
Coming
it.
up.
So if you can just wait, we'll discuss it then.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. So right now, we are on the Carver minutes is what we are approving at this time, and everybody just got a copy of the
At this
minutes.
point, the harassment has to stop. You're-
How is that harassment?
Just by you yelling,
Listening.
excuse me, excuse me,
I wasn't
excuse me.
yelling.
Yes, you are. You are yelling, you're going out back, you're conversing with each other, you're going on the emails. This woman has been sick. She's been in this industry for
As far as
30
I know,
years.
right now,
Excuse.
you're the one that's out of order. And
No,
you're the-
I don't care whether you
did
tell
not-
me I'm
she
out of
didn't
order. I'm
recognize
talking
you.
from the heart right now.
But you
I don't
know,
believe
it's
talking
not
from
your
the heart
place
is
to
a-
Well, you know what?
This is a meeting.
No,
So let's
but
get
you're
back to
not
business.
allowing us to conduct.
You're all out of order.
You're not
Everybody
allowing
is
us
out
to
of order.
conduct our
We are
meeting.
allowing you. We're
No,
not
you're
allowing
not.
you. We are citizens of
Helen.
this town.
You're out of order, and if we have to ask again,
Not.
we will ask. You are out of order right now, so I'm going to ask you.
I'm sorry, please don't
to-
yell at me.
Well, you're out of order, and I do have a hearing problem, so if it sounds like I'm yelling, I don't mean to.
Oh.
But any,
Yeah.
well, I have a hearing problem, and I apologize. So if anybody is out of order again, I'm going to give you another warning, okay? So that was a first warning for everybody that's in the room, okay? And that includes our board as well. Thank you. All right, I'm looking for approval of the minutes for October 4th. You all have a copy in front of you. And if I can have a motion to approve those as written.
I move that we accept the October 4th minutes as
And-
presented.
And do we have a second? What?
I second.
A second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it was a unanimous vote. Okay, looking at the September minutes, you all have those in front of you. Are there, and you've read them, you've had them emailed to you. We have a motion on that, please.
There's a mistake on those minutes.
Excuse me, but you're out of order, and I've already said that
Well,
before.
you can't approve them if there's a mistake on them, so I'm allowed to bring it to your attention that there is a mistake. And they're taped, so you can review them if you don't believe that there is a mistake.
Is this point of order?
Is this a point of order?
This is a
Okay.
point of order.
Go right
All
ahead.
Okay. First of all, where it says public comments, Mary Dormer, a member of Carver Concerned Citizens, spoke on behalf of a few seniors. That was not what I stated that night. I said that I was there to find out how to get stuff on the agenda, and that I had been contacted by a few seniors. Down further, it says, the chair reminded Mary that to address topics, they needed to be on the agenda. She asked her to contact her to do so for the next month's agenda. I specifically asked you that night, during my citizens' participation, if I needed to email you, and you said, no, I am writing them down. And they're still not on the agenda.
Thank you very much.
So are we updating the minutes then?
I'll have to review the video and review the minutes. So
Okay.
at this time, I would ask that we not approve the minutes as written. Okay? Thank you very much. And then moving on
For the approval.
for the July 2022, that should read August 22. And you received them at the last meeting, and it had said the word "may" on there.
Yeah, those are correct.
So now it's been corrected, and the word "may" has been removed, and I'm asking for a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from August 2022, please.
What we can do is, because I didn't send them, I just fixed
Well, we
them.
had it from before.
That's
so,
true.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes as amended.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, a unanimous vote to accept the minutes as written. Okay, and moving on, we're going to discuss the agenda guidelines. And the COA's board has put together a guideline for our board to look at, and I'd like our board to read it to themselves before we share it with the public, please.
Excuse me, through the chair, please. Is there a way to those slats there starting to get in their place? Thank you. Oh, the other one as well, I guess. That's all.
Anybody else?
Point of order? Anywhere?
Okay. Does anybody have any comments on this from the board? Okay.
No, it makes total sense about what we
Okay.
do.
All right. So I'm going to read this, and this was sent to us from the town administrator. So the COA board serve in an advisory, not governance capacity. Board members help set, review agency policies. The director manages the daily operations. Although boards and directors need to pursue mutually agreed program service goals, keep in mind that the board's advise, but staff implements. Becoming involved in the day-to-day functions/operations is neither the board's role nor our responsibility. The board does not direct the director. So keeping that in mind, that going forward, if there's any staff concerns, staff complaints, volunteer complaints, volunteer concerns, or our board concerns as well, we ask you to take that to the town administrator's direction. So we won't, this is not the forum to put a complaint in against an employee. We won't hear that here. It's not our responsibility. We're not investigators, and that really is not our responsibility. So therefore, you will see that one of the requests is not on our agenda tonight because we are not the forum to handle that type of a situation. With these responsibilities in mind, requests for inclusions on the Board of Directors meeting agendas need to fall under the preview of the board's oversight. The following is a guide for acceptable agenda requests to the Council on Aging Board of Directors. Concerns with policies or procedures, concerns with current programs or services, concerns with the COA facilities, buildings, or grounds. For instance, I'll give you an example. You could send us an email and say, they were talking about painting the congregate room where you have lunch purple. and we don't think that's a good color. That would be something that you could send to us, and we could talk about it and try to work through that type of situation. So that could be a situation that we could handle at our board level. Another instance, I was sent an email, I think it was 3 different emails about GATRA. So I just want to just fill you in on GATRA. So GATRA has been in service for an awful long time. They run a dispatch center out of the Carver Council on Aging. The GATRA organization has nothing to do with the Carver Council on Aging. So therefore, the emails that I received were requesting some services for volunteers pertaining to the GATRA dispatch. So that was not carried out onto our agenda. Excuse me, is anybody recording this meeting that didn't say they're recording it? No? Okay, thank you. All right, so the GATRA concerns need to go to the GATRA Advisory Board, and they meet, is it monthly, Connie?
Yes.
They meet monthly, so you're welcome to go to them, and you're welcome to, bring your concerns to them. There is some information in our newsletter. You could also look in our newsletter as well and on the town website.
Through the chair, please.
Yes.
Also, just a quick call to our GATRA dispatcher is a real good go-to, because she's available 5 days a week, 9 to 12, and she also is very good about returning any phone calls and
Okay.
messages. She gets back to them right away.
Okay,
So any
perfect.
question about the services, no one has ever been denied service with regard to the question with regard to wheelchair
Okay.
passengers.
Okay.
Every situation is taken care of to make sure that riders can go as they need to. If they don't have their own companion, our outreach worker is available to help to make sure. And somebody, if anyone has a motorized wheelchair, they don't need a companion because they're able to transport themselves.
Okay,
The
so
dispatch is a great resource.
So I really have personal experience with this. So my mom lived here in town for many years, and she did use the GATRA bus. And my mother was disabled since I was 19 years old, and my mother was in a wheelchair. And some of you in the room know who my mother was. And my mother, to use the GATRA bus, had to roll herself out the door into the sidewalk. And from there, the GATRA bus driver helped my mother get on the bus. So that is what has still transpired till this day. And if she needed any type of assistance, I could have gone on the bus with her to help her and assist her. So at this time, that is the reason why the GATRA was not placed on our agenda. So moving on down here, the following are not the responsibility of this board and will not be included on any meeting agenda. Staff, volunteer issues or concerns, issues with COA patrons or visitors, program issues or suggestions. The responsible authority is the COA director or the town administrator on all of those. Our email addresses are available here on this sheet of paper as well, and we've listed all our email addresses. All public comments at the COA Board of Directors meeting must pertain to the items on our agenda as previously voted upon by our board. Public comments must be delivered as first-person commentary and not shared hearsay or rumor. Repetition of the same comment by different individuals could be limited at some point if there was a lot of that on the same topic. So I have a copy of this for the public, but tonight I would like to see how the board would like to move on this agenda guidelines. Do you want to accept this guidelines? Do you want to make any changes, any suggestions?
Move we accept it.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion, please?
I move we accept the changes to the Board of Directors agenda guidelines as presented.
Actually, there was no changes. This is actually just a new guideline. So could you?
New guidelines as presented.
Okay. Do we have a second?
One second.
Second. So we have a second. So the motion is to approve the guidelines. They're brand new as directed, and today is November 3rd, and it's called the Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors Agenda Guidelines. All those in favor of approving the guidelines? Aye. Okay, that's unanimous.
Do you want me to update this again, Petra? No?
All right, moving down, maintenance update. So,
Yeah.
so for many of you, you might not know that I have been in correspondence with the Director of Operations and Management for quite some time and trying to get some guidelines as to the schedule for the maintenance at the Council on Aging. And we've been going back and forth with emails. But anyway, so part of the delay was we had a town administrator that left, we had an interim town administrator, and then we had another town administrator, and then we just recently hired, and I'm probably going to get the name wrong, but I believe it's a manager of maintenance, something like that. So some kind of position to do with maintenance, but it's a management position. So anyway, so that was delayed so that they could do an inspection of the different town buildings, and the Council on Aging was included in that inspection. I don't have the copy of the report because it's sent off and it has to be looked at, and then it will be forwarded to us when they're through with the report. But in the meantime, I do have a letter, an email, and it says, "Hi, Donna. In the next month, I will have the front of the building pressure washed before winter. I will have the new stair handrails, treads painted, and also the round window above the dining area painted. I am going to remove some trees on the right side of the building that are starting to get too close to the building. The prisoner work release program is not being offered by the Sheriff's Department, unfortunately, to assist us with this work. I am working on pricing for Connie on consolidating walk-in coolers and freezers. Also, she inquired about emergency generator coverage for the units. This would have to go through capital outlay for request on another funding source such as ARPA funding. As I had mentioned before, the overall condition of the building and what it is being used as needs to be addressed by the town before any large-scale projects are decided upon. There is a municipal, and I don't know all these statutes, you're going to have to excuse me on this. So there is a municipal statute that states if a certain percentage, between 25 to 35%, we weren't sure on the exact percentage, of a building's assessed value is exceeded in cost by a single project, that will trigger full building code compliance for the entire building. That would not be feasible for the Atwood House. Please understand, I am not trying to be difficult or ignoring the needs of the building. However, I comprehend the building has many needs and long-term plans need to be addressed, and decisions will be based on that direction. David Seidentop, Directors of Operations and Maintenance. So, you know, I have been in contact with them. I've had multiple emails going back and forth. So that has been sent out as well. So moving along on our agenda, the next item is our food policy. So, this is our current food policy. Thank you. This is the current.
Thank you. All right.
So before you, you have the current food policy that the Board of Health approved and the Carver Board of Directors adopted in August of 2021. So I just want to make a statement here. So regarding candy, there has never been any restriction for seniors in the consumption of candy at the Carver Council on Aging. Seniors are able to bring in candy and eat candy in the nutrition center from opening to close. If it is desired to share or distribute the candy, our current food policy requires that the head cook be informed prior to sharing, as is the policy for individuals who bring snacks to share, such as on bingo day. They should be individually wrapped with ingredients listed. If they are intended for everyone to enjoy at the COA, June has provided an area where they can be placed for sharing. As part of the OCS nutrition program participation, we are obligated to follow the nutrition standards of the Executive Office of Elder Affairs enforced by Old Colony Elder Services. When the supervisor of the OCS nutrition program visited in May, she requested that the head cook, June Benson, not leave bowls of candy on each of the tables in the nutrition center all day. Every day, with the exception of holidays and special occasions, as it contradicts the nutrition standards she is asked to follow. So we have holidays, we have special events, we have all kinds of special things. We have ice cream sundae days, we have also the cocoa bar, I'm trying to go through my head, the hot cocoa bar. Those are special events. So that's not like an everyday occurrence. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that those are special events. So therefore, I just want to reiterate that seniors have always been able to eat candy at the Council on Aging. You can bring candy in every single day for your own consumption, and you don't have to discuss it with June at all. But if you want to share it, we just need you to go through June and just let her know that you're going to bring something in to share. So at this time, my recommendation for this board is to keep the current food policy that we have in place, and then I would ask that you keep the current policy in place. Do we have a discussion on the food policy?
Should make a motion and then discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. So
Make a motion. then
do we
discuss.
have a motion to,
Accept the current food policy?
okay.
I think we already voted on it last year, didn't we?
But we've revisited it, so
Yeah,
we're
so-
reaffirming.
But we're
And-
not rewriting it,
No.
No.
then there's no motion necessary, I don't think.
Okay.
Right? We're just confirming.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
think we can have a discussion on it, though.
Okay.
My only thing is maybe a suggestion. I think Connie had mentioned a donation table or anything with that was.
area through the chair, sorry.
Yeah, the thing that got confused was putting bowls on each table. It misrepresents the fact that those candies are put there by the Council on Aging and they're not.
Right.
So Connie did say perhaps the best thing would be a donation table on the side, or if they want candy, they can go
And get it
pick out
themselves,
some
right.
and bring it to their seat.
Yeah, that seems
Just
to
can't
work.
leave it on the table.
Right, that seems to work at this time, and that's the best way to do that. So we'll keep the, we'll move on. Any other discussion on this?
That's just the community table you're referring to.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. No further discussion, so we'll keep the current food policy as it is written. The next item on the agenda is the rental agreement.
Oh, finally.
I know, right? Would you mind passing this out?
Yes.
Just hand it to Elaine.
Yeah.
Here.
Sure.
All right, this policy and agreement was looked at by town council and the town administrator, and it was forwarded back to us. And I just want you to take a look at it. I'm not sure that we need to vote on this tonight. There's a lot of here, can you please be quiet? Thank you. There is a lot of us information here that needs to be covered, and we really need to take a look at this, and I think that this should be brought to vote at a different time, because there is a lot of information here.
Can we make a note in the minutes who's already reviewed this? Has legal approved it?
Yep.
So it's been approved by legal?
Carver Town Administrator has reviewed it, as well as Town Council. The most important line here is policies and procedures subject to change with or without notice at the discretion of the Carver Council on Aging or the Carver Select Board. So this policy, can be changed, and the cancellation policy, that was a concern. So cancellation of events must be made in writing 7 days prior to the scheduled event. So that was another concern. I wanted to make sure that we could cancel something, if we needed to, just to protect the public. I mean, they have a right, if they don't want to rent the Council on Aging building, and then they need to cancel, they need to be able to somehow notify us, but to also, I wanted the public to be protected by that, so that was important to me. So anyway, I think at this time, for the best interest of this board and for the Carver seniors and the Carver residents in Carver, I think this board should take a look at this and review it and see if there are any suggestions or changes that you think might need to be made. And then again, I'd have to send it back to the town council, okay? Does that make sense?
So you're going to table it to the next?
Yeah, I'm going to table it and put it on the agenda for the next meeting. Thank you. Okay, so moving along is the next item on the agenda is the director's report and programs. Yes, you may.
Just make sure everyone gets a copy, just so they can follow, hopefully to share. Yeah, you all got your own. Has the newsletter attached. It has a November newsletter attached.
All those trees, directed what you looking for? I'm just saying.
Oh, you have to, oh, it's extra. Okay.
All right. I have the director's report
right,
in front of
thank you.
me. I'm
No,
so sorry. I apologize.
The October updates, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the GATRA numbers before the meeting today, but I will follow up with those. They are actually getting pretty high as far as ridership, and we still have a request for a fourth bus to hopefully alleviate some of those concerns.
Can I just,
Oh, yes,
excuse me,
yes.
if I can just stop you right there? So do you know if we currently have a citizen in this town that is having difficulty, that's been reported to you?
No, I spoke to the dispatcher because this is a policy, the driver can't leave the bus, especially with other passengers on it, to transport beyond the arrival point. So she said this is the policy, it's not a new policy, it's been what's existed since all she can recall, long before her. But she's saying that if anyone had an issue with having a companion, that they would be resolved with working with Heidi for outreach and finding somebody that could go. But she says it has never occurred. That
Okay.
it has not been a problem.
Okay.
No, certainly no one's ever been denied.
Right, and
transportation.
that's important. We just want to make sure that
Right.
somebody is not left on
Right.
the curbside. I guess
Yeah.
that would be appropriate, right? But, a seriousness, there are alternatives, either a PT1 form or something like that through
You've mentioned,
your
yeah.
physician's office as well. So, okay, go ahead.
And Peggy, our dispatcher, is very informed, and she would be a great resource for any questions like this. I have the information, the stats for the congregate meals were 189, meals on the move, the home-delivered meals are 786, for a total of 975 meals total. My senior center registrations to date, this is all together, are up to 326. The newsletters go out in three different forms, actually. 605 are emailed, 872 are physically mailed to the community, and 300 are distributed throughout the town for a total of 1,777. Recap of October events are listed there.
So could I clarify something
Yes.
here? So you have my senior center registrations to date, 326?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody reported to the public that it was 600, and that's never been the case?
No, well,
Okay.
that's not an attendance record. That is a record of registrations.
Okay.
And that's from the inception of our My Senior Center system, which is a
Okay.
form of registration with a key tag. So that was initiated in June of 2021.
Oh, okay.
And so we started, so that's been for like a little over a year, we've registered 326 people. then-
And if
yeah.
I can just remind everybody, when you do go into the Council on Aging, scan your scanner, because that helps the Carver Council on Aging with statistics and things like that for funding and things like that. So make sure, even if you're volunteering and you're, a senior, make sure you're scanning that, because it's so important. Sorry to
No,
interrupt
it
you.
is very
Connie,
much.
was there any new registrants from last meeting?
I was looking back at it, I think there was like 10 additional since the
good.
last meeting.
Good.
Some of the key programs are listed there that took place in October. I wanted to point out the Owls Up Close was a special nature program that was sponsored by the Carver Cultural Council, hugely successful. Thanks to June for suggesting this program, because she had seen it before and knew it would be very popular. We literally had standing room only in the center. It was a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll have some more programs. I've submitted 5 requests for Cultural Council programs for the 2023 year, and there is a nature program included in that mix as well. Fire safety was very well attended. Everyone really enjoys. It's amazing how much information can be provided, and there's still new information every time I attend. And Assistant Deputy Fire Chief Jesse Boyle is very engaging and very informed with the information. We had, I think it was the very first talk with the TA, with the town administrator on the 18th. It was a very nice casual conversation, but another opportunity if you want to have a meeting or even private meeting with the town administrator, it's an opportunity to arrange for that as well.
Can I just ask you one more question? On the suggestion box, do we have a report on the suggestion box?
There have been some suggestions, and I distributed to the parties that they're responsible for as far as
Okay.
concerns like that.
Is there anything that you can share with us that was a suggestion?
It was show the Elvis movie when we
Oh,
can.
okay, all right.
When we can. Address the lighting where the puzzles are,
Okay.
which is good. I moved a lamp over the puzzle table
Okay.
and things like
So the
that.
suggestion box is working?
Yeah.
Great, okay, that's good.
And I mentioned below is the grant applications that we put through. The MCOA annual conference was October 19th through the 21st down in Falmouth. There were some really interesting workshops on planning and building a new COA. A lot of wishful thinking with regard to that, but I thought it doesn't hurt to get informed. There were two directors from two COAs that were building simultaneously, and they compared their experiences side by side. They called the program The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, because they actually had a lot of experiences that were in those categories. But one director had almost smooth sailing, and the other had troubles, but so it was helpful to hear what they had to deal with. And another series of on that same topic was presented by an architect, and actually talked about different features and things to look for, and really, strangely enough, actually had a different take on even a two-story building, which is always like sort of the negative, I think, consideration, but he actually had the pros and cons about those things too. So it's a lot of things you have to consider, and I came back with a lot of literature for that, and I'd like to, hopefully share all of that.
Okay, and you can
at some
also
point.
follow along with the Bridgewater Council on Aging is adding on to brand-new building there, so you can actually follow along with their programming and how that is going. I know you meet with them on the phone
Yes.
monthly, so
On the Zoom
maybe
calls,
she
yeah.
can send you some information as well.
And I know the director from Plymouth was in the meetings with me as well, and they're doing an adaptation to their
Really?
current, yes, they
Wow.
are. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so they were already adjusting theirs. But it's also very intriguing to find some of the communities that are even smaller than ours that have these new COAs. So really would love to see us get something as well. The November highlights, I have the November newsletter attached, so there's a lot more detail on some of these programs. But coming up with Veterans Day, we have on the 9th of November, free for senior veterans, a free lunch, which will be followed up by a little concert by a local singer, Jennifer Mello. She's performed at the COA in the past, and she's going to have patriotic songs and some classic standards to share with everyone in attendance. The Turkey Luncheon is an annual classic, and that's on Tuesday, November 15th. The tickets are already on sale. They do go quickly, so if you don't have them, I would suggest to get them now. We have the great support of our Carver Police Department that have traditionally been able to help serve the meal, and really makes for a wonderful day. We have local author Diane Finn returning in November. She did a program in October. The Naughty Pilgrims is one of her books that she has published, and it kind of chronicles some of the crimes and punishments of that time period, which sounds interesting and very entertaining, I hope. And I just wanted to mention the Friends of the Carver COA has their holiday craft fair on Saturday, December 3rd from 9 to 1, so hopefully we'll see the support there. Just attached, in addition to the newsletter, I just had wanted to run through the activities, because I think it really hits home when you realize that prior to COVID, we were limited to some of the activities that we had. They were mostly focused on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays due to the activity schedule that we had. And now we have activities 5 days a week with an extended time period, with just the fact that there's more coverage at the COA itself. All of the asterisk programs that are indicated there are actually added programs since the COVID shutdown. So if you look at your November calendar, it is pretty packed with activities that are going on at the COA. And the final page is actually just a recap of the last 2 years of aspects of, I was a follow-up to your maintenance report with regard to the COA, and we are awaiting some of the updates and maintenance of our building, but we have done some things in the past 2 years that I think are pretty significant. The renovation of the nutrition center. Anyone that hasn't seen the COA in the past 2 years should really come see it. It's a lot brighter, it's lighter, it's definitely refreshed. We have new energy efficient windows that can actually open, which was great because we couldn't open the other windows in the past. Custom window shades, new coffee station, coffee maker, new tables and folding chairs. Exterior improvements were a result of a safety review with operations and maintenance. There was a demolition of a defunct kind of a ramp, a wooden ramp that was actually a hazard in some ways, and also an eyesore, so that was resolved. The Commission on Disabilities provided the automatic door openers for our 2 ramp entrances. We also got, thanks to, I want to recognize the Carver Earth Removal Committee for covering the cost of paving the front walkways, which had also been, they were very nice and historic brick, but they were very much a hazard for anyone walking on them. So that was replaced with smooth paving, and also a driveway that had been just a dirt driveway with gravel, where the nutrition center entrance ramp is now providing a nice, safe walking surface, along with being a driveway for our GATRA buses to drop off the seniors.
Okay.
And they covered the cost of that, which was great. We have had since basically, I want to say June of this year, we've had technical upgrades where we've had the kiosk in my senior center is now contactless, and that was covered by a lot of these. I did make note of it up top, that 2/3 of the cost of these improvements were covered by either CARES Act funding or state earmark funds. So a lot of it did not hit the town, only 1/3 of it did. The CARES Act funds also provided 10 iPads with a locking charging station, so we can actually have tech instruction. Our tech teacher is here in the audience. Thank you, Lydia, for offering your time. And the Wi-Fi upgrade that supports this new technology was also, I think that was completed also in June of this year. And we have a new cloud-based phone system that was reliant on this Wi-Fi that has been added to the COA as well. Our staff updates also was advocating for our GATRA drivers for earned sick time, which they were not receiving, and competitive wage increase. So that thankfully is 100 reimbursed through GATRA. Full-time outreach facilitator position with the in-house Shine responsibilities was also added. Our food service now, it was mentioned earlier that we're participating in the Old Colony Elder Service Nutrition Program, which provides monthly reimbursement to the town for meals served. The average monthly reimbursement is around $3,000, which goes back into the senior meals budget. So as participants in this program, our COA menu is reviewed monthly by the nutritionist with OCES to make sure it's in compliance with the state nutrition standards. And I did mention about how the costs were covered. So I did want to mention that improving the COA and at least maintaining it and keeping it bright, comfortable, and welcoming is important, because if we are even looking at a new COA, where, as Savory Moore said in his departing words, that we're at least 10 years away, and that 10 years always maintains. If we wait one more year, it's 10 years from that point. So thinking about it, starting the process, we still have 10 years of use of our current building, potentially.
Right.
So we want to take care of it. We want to keep it, up to date as possible. I understand maybe not investing huge amounts of money, but we want to make it, for the seniors that are going to be enjoying it for the next 10 years.
Right.
I think we want to, have that. Some of the potential projects that are listed there, I have not had an update yet from Old Colony Vocational Technical High School, but it was already proposed for consideration, the possibility of an overlook deck that would be actually on the backside of our parking space, which is a bit of a slope that would be kind of overlooking the potential pickleball courts that we have through the recreation department, which would really create a nice opportunity for outdoor activities. And so the consideration is possibly working with Old Colony Voc for this type of project. So that was already kind of feelers were put out for that idea. And just for updating, we had put it through a quote for the mini-split cooling and heating system to actually have a more consistent heating and cooling for the nutrition center specifically, and that might be able to be used with residual earmarked funds, or I was looking maybe possibly that, I don't think the ARPA funds would apply for that, but that was the concept.
Well, we had hoped to have that
Right.
facilitated this
Right.
past spring,
So
but
it's kind of-
unfortunately, it didn't make
Yeah.
it. But
Any
I do
questions?
have a question.
Oh, yes.
What about the
For the
program
yeah, oh,
starting
yes.
in
Oh,
January?
I did not have that on the list here, but I have some of the members of our Friends here, and our Friends have offered to do the, it was not the monthly program for the birthday cakes, and they're going to supply the cost for purchasing cakes on a monthly basis. So
Wow.
I think we just have the first Wednesday of every month that we'll just put in the newsletter, just saying for, if your birthday's in that month,
Okay,
come on the
perfect.
first Wednesday for cake and ice cream, sponsored
Okay.
by the Friends.
And that will start in when?
January?
January, okay. All right, so thank you to the Friends for volunteering to do the cost on that. We appreciate that. Yeah, go ahead.
Connie, on the heating and air conditioning, are we doing anything to add those facilities to the upstairs rooms in case we ever get some assistance on the crafting pieces, air conditioning and heating in the
Well, the hope was going to be that,
original bedrooms?
right, the hope was initially that we thought we were going to have the excess funds from our earmark from the windows, was that the existing air conditioners that were in the building could have been relocated to those other spaces. Unfortunately, we had to go with them this summer because we just didn't have that possibility. But the mini splits were
Yes.
going to be that, and they wouldn't be, the whole goal was not putting air conditioners in the new windows. That was the,
Yeah, we
that
wanted
was the
that.
hope, to not have to put them in the windows, but we did for
Right.
this year.
Right.
So we still have that as a possibility.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. I guess there's no further report. Any more
That was-
questions
any
for the
questions?
director?
Madam Chair, I just have one for the director, if I could.
Go right ahead.
Mini splits and things like that, have you looked into the programs through Mass Save?
Somebody had mentioned that too, yes,
They're doing
yes.
like crazy rebates, $10,000 and upwards of that, and you can apply still under a business.
Oh,
So
okay,
people
okay, that's good to know,
qualify
okay.
through-
Yeah, somebody was mentioning that too, especially for our seniors themselves. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely,
That's a
yeah.
great
But if
resource.
you- Yeah, our seniors in our community are going through it, and they're getting mini splits put in with $10,000 rebates. So they're
That's
literally
incredible,
paying
yeah.
like $1,000 out of pocket.
Yeah, that's,
But you can-
so that's, it's Mass Save?
Through Mass Save,
Mass
and when
Save,
you
okay.
apply and make your appointment, you do it through, because it would be like for the town.
Yes,
And then they'll come out and they'll go through the whole facility and then tell you and do all the paperwork. And a lot of times, if you get somebody to put in the splits, the rebate will pay them directly. So you don't even have to put the money out of pocket first.
that's
They'll
awesome.
accept those funds. So it's just another
That's,
thing to
that's
look
great.
at.
Yeah, definitely,
You know,
definitely.
get it in.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
for
you
that.
very much. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. So that's great information.
Thank you.
Okay. So moving down on the agenda, the next item on the agenda, since no one has any questions for the chair, for the director, the Recreation Committee, Carl Miller was due to be here, but he had an emergency, and he called me to say he wouldn't be here. But I just wanted just to say that I have, I want to make sure if they do put in a pickleball court at the tennis courts, I just want to make sure that the Carver Council on Aging is going to benefit from this, right? So how could we benefit? We could benefit from a parking lot. We could benefit from a path coming up to the Council on Aging. Electricity down there would be another avenue. So he's going to come back and he's going to present to us, but those were just my 3 thoughts that it was important. And if we are going to put an outside deck in, you know, that maybe should be looked at as well if they're going to improve the parking situation there at the Carver Council on Aging. Go ahead.
There would be a fee to use that pickle.
I don't know anything about that. That would be something, nothing to do with our
A fee
department.
would cover our costs on electricity and Especially
It has-
if the deck would be lit at night.
Yeah, I don't know, that is something beyond our scope, but I just wanted just to make sure that,
Yep.
you know, the Council on Aging benefited from this as well, so that's something we probably should work together on. But that's good information. The next item on the agenda is the town administrator future building discussion. The town administrator is not available tonight to go over that, so that will have to be tabled. And Carl's would be tabled to hopefully our next meeting, but I'll have to see if Carl can make it or not. Moving on, the next item is Claudia Miller, and I just wanted to take a time real quickly. I've been chair of this board for a few years now, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank Claudia for her endless work and dedication to the board, the citizens in the town of Carver, and to her neighbors, and to the participants that come to the Carver Council on Aging. Claudia has gone above and beyond in everything she's facilitated. She has finished it with 110%, not 100%, above and beyond. So she's going to talk in a minute, but I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done, and
I won't miss you guys.
we will miss you. Do you want to read your letter, or do you want me to read it? It's addressed to me.
Connie, for all your work at the Council on Aging. It's just like amazing. June, anybody who cooks that many meals for anybody gets a big gold star on my book. I wouldn't. It's a lot of work. But I just hope that she gets her pads for
Oh, right.
the kitchen. Yeah, that's my thing. You know, get people off their feet, or at least put some cushion underneath it. But it's been a lot of fun, and I will miss this terribly. But I really hope to bring a lot of these ideas. We do not have Council on Aging's
In
and
Michigan?
state laws that control them, and all this kind of stuff in these towns. These are little, small farming towns, but
Wow.
they would really, hopefully we can get with a little bit of experience I have and
If anyone does it, it'll
town
be you.
politics, yeah, later, that I can use what I've learned and kind of
Mhm.
maybe piggyback off of some of your ideas and
Thank you.
get something going.
So,
Thank you.
so I'm going to just read the letter that we have in our possession, but I'll go around the board and you guys can make a comment if you wish to. It's dated for November 4th, but it's to Robert Fennessy, the town administrator. Please accept this as a notice of my resignation from the Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors in Carver, Mass. I'm sending you this letter with deep regret. I cannot thank you enough for the opportunity to be on this board. It has been a wonderful experience to be able to work with an exceptional group of individuals. I have learned and enjoyed my time spent with them and take my new skills with me to another city and state. Please feel free to contact me with any needs you may have. My regards, Claudia Miller. So does anybody from the board want to make a comment or anything? No?
But I'd just like to wish her all best wishes in your new venture in Michigan, and it's been wonderful working with you. And
Sometime, some summer, when I come to visit, I'll
all right.
stop in and poke my head in and see how you guys are surviving.
I wanted to say I'm going to miss your Midwestern friendliness, calm, and just really working hard for this town. There's something special about Midwesterners, and I'm really going to miss you. And I want to thank you for putting that book together. I heard Mary DeRoss volunteered to keep it updated after.
Now you know how it works, yeah.
But really, it's great loss, great gain for Michigan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Mary, do you want to say anything? No. No, okay. All right, so we unfortunately accept this letter of resignation.
We have to vote on that?
No, we don't.
Keep working.
So the next item on the agenda is board member comment. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to speak tonight, and we'll start with Paula Hitchcock. Why don't we start with you? You're here tonight. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, I was just wondering, I had asked to put, I know we, as COA, got a $30,000 grant from Chico, was it? I don't remember. But I
That's
remember
correct.
seeing that. I mean, could that be used towards, I know some of these projects that you're discussing as far as.
So the town administrator was going to address that and how that would be spent, and that's why he was on the agenda, and he's not available to talk about that. But Connie, go ahead.
No, I said if I could address that because I was able to meet with Senator Pacheco with regard to the, and it is not every town received this too, which is, I didn't know
But
that until I.
if I can just stop you right there, because we're not supposed to have a discussion on it, because it's not on the agenda. Well, it technically is on the
It
agenda.
was on the agenda, okay, we didn't know.
Yeah, if you don't mind. But you can follow up with Paula.
Yeah.
Okay, afterward. Okay.
I'll just put it this way, it was specialized for some specific, for needs.
Areas
Yeah.
or needs, okay, perfect. Anything else, Paula?
No.
Okay, all right, okay, Elaine?
You may remember that we were intending to have a fall outing, fall community outing, and we weren't in time when we requested to
Right.
be at the Holly Fair at South Meadow Village. It was too late, they weren't accepting any more requests, so we ended up not having a community outreach fall outing, so I don't know, I would like the board to be thinking on that.
Okay,
To see
I'll
if
add
something
that.
else we can come up with. I know we're gonna be getting into the winter months, and I know it's tough, to plan something for outside certainly in that
Right.
time, and I know the night, evening things would probably be even more difficult.
Okay.
This time of year, so.
Anything
Can
else?
we do something
Well,
during
we're
the
not supposed to
holidays?
have a discussion on it, because it's not on the agenda.
Can we talk about it at next meeting?
Yeah, we'll put it right on the agenda.
Oh, wait a minute, we're in November, so it will be December.
I have a suggestion on the meeting too, so
Okay.
do you have any comments? You can say whatever you want to say.
No, I just want to thank you for everything you do. I know it's been very difficult lately, and I just appreciate your stamina and the love that you have for the seniors, spending over 30 years in this business. Your heart and soul is in it, and I just want to
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Mary? You have any- You can say any. Yeah. That's okay.
It takes
So you can use, so just so you know, you can use the opportunity if you knew of an announcement or something. Do I hear somebody talking? If you have something that you want to share, maybe something like, for instance, what Mrs. Bacall shared, if you had something like that, you could actually share it during this time as well. Thank you. Claudia, do you have anything to say?
Claudia Miller is speechless.
All right, well,
Next meeting date?
yeah, so thank you very much, board, I appreciate it, and I just want to thank everybody, and I don't want anyone to think that your requests are gone unnoticed. They're not. We discussed the cake, we discussed the concerns with staff, we discussed the food policy. All of this tonight, I believe most of the requests have been dealt with tonight in some form or fashion. For instance, Paula had requested about the building and about the grant. But unfortunately, the town administrator is not here, so we can't discuss that. But, so moving forward, I just want to thank the public, and again, I apologize for, the possibility of my inexperience. I'm just a volunteer, and if you guys can understand that I don't get paid to do this, I volunteer, and some nights I'm up till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So it's a lot of hours involved in this, and I just hope that we can all work together, and it's for the benefit of the seniors, and I hope that everybody can understand that, and I look forward to many more meetings like this, and I thank each and every one of you for your participation at the Council on Aging, and also for your hours of volunteer, and your concerns. Your concerns are important, they're valid, but, you know, there's some things that our board cannot tackle, so we won't do that. But anyway, moving on, the next item on the agenda is our next meeting. So I was hoping that we could have a meeting early December, like December 1st, because then the end of December, we're dealing with another holiday, and so can you all presently look at your calendars now and see if December 1st would work for you?
Probably can.
It probably can? Okay. Did you say no at first?
I just said I don't have my schedule, I don't put it on there.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't need to.
So,
That works for me.
okay.
Yep, that should be fun.
That works for you, and it works for you? Okay. So that's 4 of us. So December 1st at 4:30. I just don't know the room yet, because I have to see if we can get the room. And I know that's only a short time away, but we still have to continue on with a lot of business here. That rental agreement's going to take a lot of time as well. So, all right, if I can have a motion to adjourn, and our next meeting is December 1st.
Motion to adjourn?
I second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much for coming tonight.